So, you want to convert a van, do you? But you've no idea where to start. Well, I was like you once, and then I built this. And in this video, I'm going to share my list of essential tools and products that I wish I knew about at the start. So stick around and I'll share my experience. I'll show you my box of tricks here. I think you'll find it helpful. And you might even save a few quid as well. Come on then. Let me get comfy. Okay, let's get straight into it. What have I got for you then? What have I got in my box of tricks? Alright, the first one I'll share with you. This one's regarding right at the beginning when you're trying to prepare the van and get rid of all the rust and the rubbish what's on the bodywork. I found these wire brushes that you put in your drill really helpful. I've got 3 still with me here. I'll put a bit of footage over now so you know what I'm talking about. And these are absolutely brilliant. Put them in your drill and away you go. And then you can start doing your stuff and preparing the bodywork. So I really liked them. As soon as I started using them, I thought, wow, they're great. So very good. Next up, I'll go for this one. Yeah, it's your standard socket set. Absolutely crucial for a van build. I got this from Halfords at the time, but you're going to come across all different sockets, different sizes, and you're going to need one. Absolutely crucial when you're starting out. You've got to get one. Oh yeah, and on a similar vein to that one, I would also throw in there some Torx bits. I'll put a picture on because I haven't got any with me, but you're going to come across a lot of star head screws and maybe Allen keys as well, that kind of thing. You need to be able to tackle different screw heads. So yeah, Torx bits are very useful as well at the start. Oh yeah, and while I'm talking about screws, I'll just mention self-drilling screws. If you look, they've got like an arrow head on the tip, and they're great for driving into metal and getting a bite. They pierce the metal and then they follow through and they get a good bite on your stuff. So when it comes to fixing, for example, the plywood into the walls, into the metal panels of the van, things like that, when you're going into the metal, I found some self-drilling screws to be really good. Even like putting the beams of the ceiling into the metal pillars of the van roof here. Self-drilling screws, keep your eye out for them. Alright, next up on my list, I've got spray adhesive down. Now, not this one, this is a regular one, but you want some Trim Fix spray adhesive. The reason everybody uses Trim Fix, from what I gather, is its heat resistance factor. It can take a higher temperature inside of a van before it starts to degrade, which is what you want. Yeah, these regular ones, don't use them. They will fail eventually. I'll show you an exact example of why not to use ordinary stuff. Here, take a look at this worktop for instance. I stuck these vinyl tiles to a wooden board using Trim Fix adhesive, and it's been fine since day one, not a problem. But then look at this upstand section, which I added afterwards. Now, most of it was used with Trim Fix, and it's all been fine. But I remember specifically running out of a tin when I was using this, and I thought, oh, I'll just use the ordinary stuff, it'll be all right. And look at that. One piece has started to loosen and come away. Yeah, that is what can happen if you use the ordinary stuff. It's not got the heat resistance that the Trim Fix has. So don't chance it, it's not worth it. Get the good stuff, all right? So Trim Fix, absolutely essential, crucial to your van build. And it's one of those items where you're not sure how many you're going to use. I was always thinking, how much am I going to need of this stuff? And I'm telling you, you go through loads more than you think you would. If I was starting tomorrow, I would probably order a box of maybe 10, at least 10 tins just to get me going. That'd be plenty. You go through a lot. I think I ordered like 3 at a time, 3, and then I needed another one, had to order another one. So get plenty of Trim Fix, you're going to go through loads of it. Alright, and still on the subject of sticking stuff, it's stick saw. Now, if you've seen my videos, you know I'm a stick saw fanboy. But I love this stuff, I've used it many times over the years, and it is fantastic. You can get it in white and clear, and black as well, I believe, as well. I think you can get a black one. And it's absolutely brilliant. Waterproof, indoor, outdoor. Can be painted. You can put it on wet surfaces. Overpaintable. Resistant to temperature extremes. It's fantastic. As soon as you use it, bang, it grabs. It gives me loads of confidence to use this stuff. I love it. And I know on a lot of videos, people are saying to use Sikaflex, and what's the other one? Tiger, Seal, I think it is the other one. CT1, that's a good one, and things like that. I'm a Sticksall fanboy. I love it. It served me well. It's slightly cheaper than the other ones, and I think it's fantastic. And it's not let me down yet. I went through quite a few tubes in here, and if I was starting tomorrow, I'd get a few on order to start me off again. Sticksall, crucial. Alright, it's the helping hands. Saviours of the day sometimes. It's some clamps. If you're on your own in the van building it, you're going to need some extra pair of hands to help you out now and again. So having a few clamps on hand, absolutely crucial. It'll really help you out, trust me. Alright, next up, it's a power tool. It's the jigsaw. Yeah, absolutely crucial is the jigsaw. Obviously you need other power tools, things like a combi drill, which I've not included in this, but the jigsaw particularly useful all the time. You know, especially like cutting the sink out of here, out of your worktop, chopping little bits off here and there, taking corners off things, awkward shapes that need cutting out of your windows and things like that on your ply panels, all the time needing a jigsaw. So get yourself one and get yourself some bits as well. You're gonna need it. Oh yeah, and something else. I can't show you this one because I've lost it unfortunately, which I'm really annoyed about. But a tool with a bend on the top. Super useful. Simple tool, but I used it multiple times in different areas. Really good for getting the insulation in, I'll show you now. And little awkward areas where you just need that bend to get round a corner. Really helpful. I'd recommend something like that if you see one. And on that note, also a trim removal kit or tool for getting the door cards off. They've usually got a bend on and they're designed for getting the door cards off easy. I didn't buy one of them. I thought I'll get by with that and a flat screwdriver, and I thought I don't need one of them kits. But get yourself a trim removal kit. The door cards are pretty tough to get off sometimes with just a screwdriver, and I wish I'd have got one, put it that way. I wish I'd have got a proper kit. Okay, getting on to some electrical bits now. It's a voltmeter. Really cheap bit of kit, absolutely essential. Can't do without one. If you've got a fancy one, fantastic. But this was just a cheap one. You only need it to show you the 20 volt sign, and you can do all your stuff in here. Testing stuff, double checking. When you're just temporarily getting stuff wired up, you know, and you're just testing something, maybe you've put the cables in for the lights and you just want to test them, make sure there's 12 volts coming through. Under the bonnet all the time, testing your battery for your alternator, things like that. Yeah, crucial. Voltmeter, non-negotiable, get one. And still on the electrical side of things, here we go. This is for your cables and your electrical connections. So I've got like an electrical stripper here where you put the wire in the teeth and it strips the ends for you. Absolutely brilliant. Saves you loads of time messing about with standing knives, and don't do that. Get yourself a stripper. You're going to be doing loads of it. And then here, a ratchet style crimping tool. Your blue, yellow and red crimps, different sizes, and it's got the ratchet mechanism to make it easy. Tip for you. When I first started and I was looking for a crimping tool, I got the real cheap one from Screwfix, the one that you just press with your hands and try and do it by force. And don't get that. Just don't get the cheap one. Or in Halfords, I think they're about £5 or something. Don't get one. They eventually start bending and breaking. You think you're saving money, you think you'll be all right. Oh, I don't need many crimps, I'll be all right with it. Get one of these. Honestly, I really regretted it in the end after a few weeks. The other ones will fail on you eventually, and then you will end up going back to the shop and getting the ratchet one and just spending more money. So don't waste your money on the crap one. Get the good ratchet crimp tool. Okay, and while I'm talking about crimping and wires and connections and that kind of thing, I gotta mention these. I love them. There we are. It's the Wago connectors. I hope you can see them there. I'll put a picture on because they're pretty small. The Wago lever connectors. They come in different shapes and sizes. 1s, 2s, 3s, 5s, whatever, straights and you name it. And I'm a convert to these. I love them. I only discovered them like a few weeks into the build. And once I'd used them, I thought, wow, where have these been all my life? They're so easy to use. You just flick the levers up pop your wire in, flick it down, and then it's got a really good bite. Once you start using them, you'll know what I mean, but they're so handy to have in your van. I used a lot of them on my control panel there at the back. I used them all over the place in here. I'm really glad I did. I used them on these spotlights. If one of these fails, for instance, I can just pop that out and just simply open the leather nut, take the wire off, pop it back in, and then it disappears back in the ceiling. They're very good to make a connection, a very fast connection, what maybe needs taken away at some point. Gives you a lot of options and a lot of flexibility on stuff, which is always good in your van. The Wago connectors, love them. Okay, and still on the electrical theme, if I can get it, this big blue lump of metal here. Oh, there we are. This is a spring-loaded lug setting device. You basically whack this with a hammer. This is for your thick battery cables when you're putting the terminals on the end, the metal terminals, the ring terminals which go on the end of your wires. When they start to get thicker, they become harder to get a good fixing with. You need to get them on nicely and tightly, and I found this tool to be really good for that. You can get these expensive sort of crimpers, the real big ones what get the battery terminals on. I went for this option because I didn't need to do many, but I did need to do them pretty well nonetheless. And yeah, I don't think I've got any footage of this, but essentially you put your wire in here with the terminal ready to go. I used a little dumpy sledgehammer with a lot of weight behind it, and you just give that a right good crack on the top of there, and that will whack down on the wire, set your terminal on the end very tightly. And I had some good success with it after a couple of tries, and I found it very good. Give it a good whack on the top. It's fun as well to do. Oh yeah, and this was a bit of a funny one, but worth mentioning. This is a piece of grey twin and earth electric wire that you'd find in your house. But what I'm saying here is anything like this, any kind of stiff bendable cable like this, even thinner than this if you can, this can be really useful for fishing cables through an area what you need to get through. If you're struggling to get something through, you can tie one end of your cable onto this and then pull this through and use it as a fishing rod. This is a good thing to have in your arsenal, something like that. Oh yeah, and this one regards the diesel heater install. It's the big hole cutter that you need to drill the hole through the floor. Now a lot of people don't go this method, there's other ways of doing it, but I went for this method and I found it really helpful. I found it a good way of doing it. Now it's from Screwfix, and I think it was about £22 just for that one tool, and basically it was 22 quid just to drill one hole, and I've not used it since. But I would recommend it when it comes to it. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that much, and it's just part of the diesel heater. You've just got to accept it's part of the price, really. That's what I did. Don't put too much pressure on, just let it do its work and it'll slowly grind through, and I found it a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So the whole saw gets a tick from me. I loved it. Oh yeah, and another product that I definitely want to mention to somebody starting out, it's regarding carpeting the back doors or the side door, if that's what you're going to do. When you're carpeting the doors, be really careful. There's a certain line you can't cross, because then you're on the outside of the van, if you like. It's hard to explain. Go watch my video, it'll make sense. It's essentially a trim which you put on a certain line of the door as it comes round, and the raggy edge of the carpet which you cut can be tucked in really nice, and it gives you a really good finish at the end of the job. I was super happy with it, really happy with that trim. It was a fantastic solution to a little nagging problem I had at the beginning. I was lucky enough to find that trim, and I recommend anybody carpeting doors uses a trim. Don't just cut around the edges, it will look terrible. But yeah, watch it in my stuff if you want and it'll make sense, but I'd call that an essential item when it comes to carpeting your doors. Alright, well that's kind of my main items out the way, what I wanted to get across. But there's just 2 or 3 that I'd like to just mention and throw in there to anybody listening. What have I wrote down here? Large bits of cardboard come in really handy if you come across any, or you've got some in your garage or something, don't throw them away. Big bits of cardboard can be really handy for cutting templates out, mimicking big pieces of wood that you want to offer up to the side. You can kind of get an idea of stuff you can make little models of stuff. When I was building my fridge area down here, I basically built the box out of cardboard, and you just practice with stuff easily because it's easy to maneuver. Also, it's good for masking. When you're spraying your adhesive, you can put a piece of cardboard somewhere what you don't want it on, and you can use it as a masking piece to protect things. So yeah, keep your cardboard, it's really useful. Cable ties, I just wanted to mention them as a little side note. Again, it's a little product I never really saw until I started doing this van. It's not just the cable ties. You can buy, I'll put them on now, it's like a little square sticky bracket which you can put into place, and there's a little slot in it, and a cable tie will run through it, and then you bend it round, and it gives you a fixing for a cable tie. That's what they are. And the good thing about them brackets, they do have an adhesive pad on the back, but I didn't always rely on that. You can put a couple of screws through as well and get a good fixing onto whatever you need, and then follow along with your cable tie and attach something too. So I used them a number of times. Really useful in little places when you just want to tie something to a wall or get something up out the way. Okay, I've finished. I've got one last good tip about this down here, which you can see. Oh yeah, sorry, before I go, vacuum cleaner. A hoover, I've just got to mention that. Make sure you've got a vacuum cleaner on hand all the time, especially when you're cutting metal and drilling holes. You need to have a vacuum cleaner there all the time, getting all the metal filings and things like that. When I was cutting through the solar panels up there and you're drilling through, you've got your hoover right next to your drill, bang, taking all the dust up as much as you can. And just generally your sawdust and things like that. You vacuum clean it all the time. It should be behind you, ready for stuff. Well, I've got to the end of my list, but before you go, don't go yet. I've got one last really helpful tip which will help you out on a day-to-day basis while you're working in the van. Just listen to me. So when you start working in the van on a day-to-day basis, you'll start gathering some basic tools what you need all the time. And in here, there's not that much space, and it all starts filling up pretty quick once you bring things in here. And it becomes very awkward very quickly and very stressful as well. Now, what I would recommend is getting yourself a basic toolkit, either a box or a bag or whatever you can, and filling it with your basics, what you need all the time, what you're grabbing for all day. I can't tell you how much it helps. This is mine here, let me show you. Look, this is what I used. Brilliant little toolkit, this. Nice handle on it here. And I've even got a magnet on the side to hold some tools there, spanners or anything. And it's just got everything I need at hand. It's got screwdrivers, it's got a couple of tubes of stuff, whatever I'm using at the time, which I can go to. And there's paintbrushes, my tape fixes on there, pincers and pliers and scissors and brushes, a hammer, goggles. You need goggles all the time. Just stuff that you're grabbing every day, and I could just always rely on this to be there. It was where all my stuff was. Yeah, I've loved this thing. It's been bloody brilliant. Take my word for it, get yourself one and you won't look back. Well then, that's my essential tools and items for building this van. I hope that helps somebody out there one day. Let me know down below if it has. Tell me your story, let me know how you're getting on. I'd love to hear from you. And give me a thumbs up as well while you're at it. It helps more than you know. I know it's a bit of a minefield when you first start. Don't worry, I've been there, I get it. Anyhow, that's the building side taken care of. But what about my favourite items within this van when the fun starts? If you'd like to see more about that, head over there and I'll tell you what I think. But until then, bye for now, take care of yourselves, and I will see you down the road. All right.